Hello beautiful people, welcome back to my channel and welcome back to day number 7 of Bookmas. Today's video is all about those 2021 releases that I really want to read. I want to have them so I can put them in my TBR and take 2 and 3 or 3 years to read. These are books that I'm very excited about. They have the potential to be new favorites. The way we are gonna do this video is I'm gonna go in chronological order in terms of the release date. Alright, so in January, the one that I'm most excited about is Across the Green Grass Field by Shannon McGuire, and this is number 6 of the Wayward Children series. I read the previous 5 this year and I really enjoyed the magical words, story of each of the kids, and although not all the books have been my cup of tea, I'm still can't wait to read more of this universe and this fantasy series. Also in January, the new book of Rachel Hawkins, The Wife Upstairs, is gonna be released. And if you follow Gabby Reed, she's starting a thriller book club, and the book for January is this one. So The Wife Upstairs is all about this young woman who doesn't have anything, she's in a very bad economical position, and she goes to this rich neighborhood and starts working in there as a dog walker. But then she finds out that one of the rich guys within the neighborhood is a widow. Decides that that's a perfect catch because the widow, of course, he is a multimillionaire, and she sees that as an opportunity for her to stop all her sorrows. Now moving on to February. In February we have Game Changer by Neil Shusterman, and I love the Arc of the Scythe series. That's the only series that I have read from him, but I can't wait to read more. Also in February we have This Close to Be Okay by Lisa Cross-Smith, and this one sounds amazing. It's about a therapist and a guy who tried to commit suicide. They spend a weekend together and it's a life-changing weekend for both of them. Yeah, sounds very good. Moving on to March releases, we have The Soul of a Woman by Isabel Allende. Isabel Allende is a Chilean writer, very famous. I read 3 of her books this year. The book that she's releasing in March is actually a memoir. I haven't read anything that is non-fiction from her, so I'm very keen to read about her life. Isabel Allende had a very difficult life at the beginning of her years because she had to escape Chile, and she then went to Venezuela, and then she couldn't come back to her country, and then she got married and now she lives in America. Also in March we have the new novel of one of my favorite thriller writers, Peter Swanson, that this year I read, or maybe last year I think, I read 8 Perfect Strangers, and although it's not the cup of tea for everyone, I really enjoyed that book. It's not a 5 out of 5 star, but it was up there. I really liked the fact that it was a book about books. So in March, he is releasing Every Vow You Break. It's about a married couple, and during the honeymoon, something happens. I think someone appears from her past, someone who she had an affair with before, but she's marrying into a very wealthy man. I don't have anything that I want to read that is being released in April, so moving into May. In May we have The People We Meet on Vacation by Emily Henry. Emily Henry is the writer of Beach Read, and although I did not enjoy Beach Read because probably I had different expectations to what the book actually was, I'm very keen to keep reading her because, yeah, I want to give her a second chance. Also in May we have John Green back into the bookstores, and this is an anthology, The Anthroposophy Reviewed, and this is based on his podcast, and so I think it's just essays about some of the best episodes of his podcast. Also in May we have another science fiction for to the list, and it's called Project Hail Mary by Andy Weir, and it's the same writer as The Martian. I really enjoyed The Martian. I thought that was a beautiful book, so I have high expectations to this. I haven't read Artemis. I know it doesn't have very good reviews, but I'm keen to read this one next year in May. Also in May, from the bestseller author Taylor Jenkins Reid. We have Malibu Rising, and it's about a group of teenagers that they have a party in California. And the whole book, I think it takes place only a 24-hour window, but something happens during the party and we are just trying to piece together everything that happened that night. Also in May, we have the 4th comic book of Alice Oseman. I discovered her and her books this year, and it's been amazing. Her Stopper is such a warm story, funny, that it covers many topics, important topics for teenagers. So I can't wait to read the 4th. This is also, like, you can read it now for free on the internet, but I just want to wait for the actual physical book to join my collection. Also in May, we have Survive the Night by Riley Saga, and this sounds like that, what's his name? That YouTuber that has a series with a lot of YouTubers. I can't remember, but sounds like that, but it's not like that. Survive the Night, I think it's about a road trip, two strangers sharing the journey within America, but then one thinks the other one is a murderer or something like that. Something is going on in there, so it's very creepy. It's more like horror than anything else. Do we have any more books in May? 12, 13. No. Now let's move to June releases. So the first book that we have in June is A Chorus Rises by Bethany C. Morrow. This is a book that takes place in the same universe as A Song Below Water. That's one of the books that I read this year. I really enjoyed it, and it's about sirens. There is a different type of magic, and sirens, sirens are rejected in society. They are looked down because people believe that they are dangerous. But in reality, they are not, and that's a misconception. So in the first book, we discover that universe, and in this book, it's a different story with another female protagonist. So then in August, we have the new book of Paula Hawkins, so similar to Rachel Hawkins. I thought it was the same author at some point, but no, they are different. Paula Hawkins, I think Paula is the one who wrote The Girl on the Train. A Slow-Fi Burning. I can't remember what this is exactly about, but it sounds interesting, and it's being published in August. And the final book of this list is number 16, and it's Under the Whispering Door by T.J. Klune. So T.J. Klune is the writer of A House in the Cerulean Sea, and that was one of the best books of 2020. It looks like a children's book, middle grade, but it's not. Don't get confused by the cover. It's actually an adult fantasy novel. This book is not related to that one, but it also has a very similar cover in terms of childish design, and I can't wait to read it. Those are the 16 books that I'm most looking forward to read from the books that are gonna be released in 2021. I still have a massive pile to be read, but I have a feeling that I'm gonna enjoy those stories by those authors. Out of the list that I just shared with you today, what is the one that you are most looking forward to read? Thank you so much for watching. Follow me on my socials. If you have missed any of the previous 6 Bookmas videos, I will leave the playlist down in the description box, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye!